Everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back to you here with an article from Outkick dated October 10th. It says MLB-backed website uses trial and error to track if minorities are black. And I saw this headline and I was just, my first reaction to it was, excuse me, what? What's MLB doing now? Like, what is this? So I was like, I got to check this out. So let's get right into this thing. And it says ESPN fired Rob Parker. I have no idea who that is in 2012 after he questioned Robert Griffin III's blackness, calling him a cornball brother. Now, that sounds not good. I don't know what that means. It says Parker has since created a website called MLB Bro. The site focuses on black players across the league. MLB has increased the site's presence by way of promotion on MLB.com and MLB Network. It says The Athletic, which still won't comment on smearing Trevor Bauer as a sexual abuser, profiled the site on Tuesday. The Athletic approves, because they are leftists, so of course they're going to approve something like that. So it says the outlet particularly approved of Parker, a former Deadspin writer, and there's a problem, tracking players and pinning them down to make sure they are black. Why? Why is this a thing? Like, who gives a shit? It says per the piece, says the staff's tracking players, keeping a list and verifying that player actually is of color means getting in the clubhouse and actually asking players what some would think are obvious questions. Such was the case for Detroit Tigers outfielder Riley Green. At a glance, one might think he is black, but rather than assume, he was asked and he said he was Hispanic. Green was approached to play for Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic because his maternal grandmother's Puerto Rican. Like, why is this a question any player is being asked? Like, who gives a shit? Why is this a thing? Says, well, thank goodness we know he is Hispanic and not black. And his sarcasm says it's trial and error, Parker said. We don't want to assume anything. But what's with like the racism? Like, who cares? You're trying to win baseball games. You're not going, man, I hope the guy next to me is a certain color. You're going, I hope he's a good player. That's it. No one cares. The only people that care are the actual racists. I should mention that. So it says, what difference does Green's race make? Unfortunately, neither The Athletic nor MLB Bro explained. But it would seem MLB Bro wants to verify the player is the right minority, to use the industry phrase. And in baseball, Hispanics are not the right minority, as the media continues to admit. And why not? I mean, I know they're being like, because they're not black, but who cares? Again, who cares if they're one or the other? There's a lot of Hispanics playing baseball. Okay, like, again, who cares? Says in June, ESPN cited a study from the Institute for Diversity and Ethics in Sport, because that's useful, that black players account for 6.2% of the league. Okay. Says Stephen A. Smith, oh, yay, a close friend of Parker's, referenced the study in an interview with MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred last week. Says, let me transition because I would be remiss not to bring this up. Smith said, no, you wouldn't be remiss. Says African American participation in the sport from a player's perspective is at 6.2%. How much of a concern is that to you as a commissioner, and what is being done to rectify that? And if I was commissioner, my answer would have been, it doesn't at all. People are going to play the sports they want to play. Who gives a shit? Again, why is this even of the slightest importance? And oh, by the way, what about all the other sports out there? Are we saying the same thing for them, but the inverse? Like, why isn't there a certain group of people that's represented a certain way in any other sport? No. Who cares? So the article says no, Smith didn't ask about Trevor Bauer because that was the story at the time. As Parker built his site around that premise, black people are underrepresented in baseball. Here's the problem. The premise is selective, because of course it is, because this is what leftists do. Says Major League Baseball is more diverse than the NBA and NFL by far, which I would not have guessed that, but okay. Says people of color represent 40.5% of the league, but because 30.2% of the league is Latino and not black, Parker and Stephen A have an issue with it. Yeah, it's literally not an issue. Again, the only people that have an issue with that are actual racists. Says we reported last week that Latinos make up just 3.1% of NBA players. Asians make up only 0.04% of the NBA. Was that like one player? Says yet there are zero sites built around Latino basketball players. The NBA does not partner with sites to emphasize the lack of American-born white players, nor should they. That is correct. Says the races of athletes ought to be irrelevant. Are a meritocracy, and at least they should be. That is also correct. Says ESPN included the word equity on the chyron during the interview with Manfred, as shown above. Oh, yeah, and you can see it right here. Says equity is an excuse to elevate minority groups to positions over majority groups on the basis that they did not begin at the same starting point. Correct? Says in the office, equity could equate to a minority receiving a promotion over a more qualified majority, using the argument that the minority, because of institutional racism, which isn't a thing, couldn't earn the promotion without an assist. And yeah, equity is what we call excused racism. Yeah, that's actual racism. Okay, it's like you're basically telling these people, we don't think you could do it, so we've got to promote you. It's like, why don't you think they couldn't do it? Are you the R word? Yes, you are. It says to apply equity to baseball, for which ESPN and MLB Bro campaign is to give less qualified players a position on the field over a better player in the name of diversity. It's called losing and undermining athletic competition. That's correct. It says there should be no place for that in professional sports, nor a place for tracking baseball players' skin colors. So yeah, I mean, I agree with everything this article says. This is utterly ridiculous. The site shouldn't exist. Shut it down. Get rid of it. It is a pointless website that doesn't serve any purpose other than to promote a racism narrative. Okay, that's it. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm not sure I have any other stuff to add here, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.